the president of the American Academy of Physician Assistants. Please give a big round of applause. You know what I mean by a big round of applause for Mr. Gregor Bennett.
Buenos días, asociados médicos. Bienvenidos a San Antonio. Welcome to San Antonio, everyone. Before we get the program rolling this morning, I'd like to introduce several special guests that we have in our audience with us today. I'm extremely pleased this morning to welcome these prominent physicians, represent our physician partners, and I'd like to introduce them to you at this time. I would ask you to please hold your applause until I've had a chance to introduce each and every one of them to you. First of all, we have Dr. Joseph Annis, member of the Board of Trustees of the American Medical Association. Dr. Carlo DeMarco, President-elect of the American Osteopathic Association. Dr. James King, President of the American Academy of Family Physicians. Dr. Linda Lawrence, President of the American College of Emergency Physicians. Dr. Kenneth Matthews, member of the Board of Directors of the American Academy of Pediatrics. Dr. James Taylor, Vice President of the American Academy of Dermatology. Don J. Quee, PAC, who is a representative here of the President of the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology, better known as Quad AI. And a very special guest, Dr. Richard Smith, honorary AAPA member, founder of the University of Washington MedX PA program. Rick Blum, Rick Blum, past president of the American College of Emergency Physicians and currently their liaison to the AAPA. Let's show our thanks by giving these special guests a round of applause. Thank you very much. There's one more person in the audience I'd like to thank. As you know, for many years I've celebrated our wedding anniversary by coming to the AAPA conference and leaving my wife at home. So for the last couple of years, fortunately, because of time and circumstance, I've been able to have her join me, and I'm extremely proud to introduce to you to my wife, Jenny, my love. Thank you. A year ago in Philadelphia, I stood before you, and I was feeling very uncertain about our future. As you know, at that time, our Executive Vice President, Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Stephen Crane, had announced his resignation from the organization. And I stood before you and I told you it was going to be okay. Well, as it turns out, it's better than okay. This has been a really extraordinary, exciting year. It's a watershed year in the life of the Academy. We've come a long way. Last year, before we left Philadelphia, we put together a plan for how we would continue to operate the Academy and how we would find a new CEO. We put together a search committee, hired a search firm, and we took every step to ensure that we found the right person for the job. It took us 6 months of careful, deliberate work, but we found that right person. In December, we hired Bill Lineweber, whom you'll meet in a few moments, as our new CEO. I'm particularly proud of the work done by the search committee that brought him to us. Would the members of the search committee please stand up and be recognized? I know you're in the audience here somewhere. I can hear you breathing. So. Thank you all. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, or the Academy as the situation may be, business had to continue as usual. Our AAPA staff worked very hard during this time to make sure that we did not lose sight of our mission. The vice presidents formed themselves into a self-directed work team, and the work continued. Our members continued to receive services without interruption. Our committees and councils carried out their work without a hitch. Our publications continued to be published on time and with a quality that continues to win us numerous awards. Our political agendas continued forward. Through it all, our staff performed their duties in an absolutely outstanding manner. I would like for the members of the AAPA staff to stand up and take a bow, please. things we did during this time of transition are things that we needed to do to continue the work of the Academy. Our work, ladies and gentlemen, is about the patient. First, last, and always. Over the past year, I have focused on two efforts on behalf of our patients. The first effort is in early childhood literacy development. Throughout the year, hundreds of you have taken the time to read to children, to reach out to them, and to provide them with books of their own to take home. As I've often told you, the development of literacy in children will free them from lives of poverty. If not economic poverty, then most certainly poverty of the spirit. I want to thank you all so much for the efforts that you've expended in this direction. Now, it's difficult to talk about literacy as a health issue without a discussion of the second focus of my year as president, and that is working on healthcare disparities. In September, I met with the representatives from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and we talked about how we could address healthcare disparities in this country. Over the next few months, we exchanged ideas, we exchanged emails, we exchanged telephone calls. We worked together toward a common goal. In March, we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Department of Health and Human Services so that we as PAs may be leaders in using literacy development programs as one means to solve the problems of healthcare disparities in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, the racial and ethnic disparities that exist in healthcare today are an abomination, and they cannot stand. We as PAs must not let them stand. To further our agenda of eliminating healthcare disparities, I've appointed Robert Wooten to represent the AAPA on the American Medical Association's Commission to End Healthcare Disparities. I'm pleased to say that his work is being recognized there already. We've made progress in meeting this challenge. I believe in our work. You believe in our work. Together, we can make an impact. We've improved our relationships with physician organizations. I have had the occasion to enjoy personal meetings over the past year with Dr. Ronald Davis, the president of the American Medical Association, and Dr. Peter Ageluni, the president of the American Osteopathic Association. We've come to understand that the issues that face our organizations are amazingly similar, and we've pledged to continue our dialogues and interactions to better serve our patients and to enhance the capabilities of our organizations to work together in shaping the world of healthcare now and in the future. Now, you're going to hear a buzz around the conference this week about a new partnership between the PA Foundation and Chevron Corporation. This partnership is to provide training and medical resources in areas both in the U.S. and abroad that lack adequate health care, so that the local health care providers in those areas may better address the health care needs of their own communities. The program is called Global Partners. The PA Foundation will develop teams led by PAs who will provide these services. Chevron has provided a $100,000 grant for 2008-2009 to fund the first of these projects here in Houston, Texas. We want to thank Chevron today for their generosity and for realizing that PAs can be worldwide leaders in the delivery of medical care. Also, this was the inaugural year for the AAPA's Distinguished Fellows Program, which recognizes AAPA members who've distinguished themselves among their colleagues as well as their communities by their service to the PA profession, and their commitment to advancing health care for all people, and by their exemplary personal and professional development.